Errol Spence reveals his fight plans for after Terence Crawford. Charlo or Canelo? What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red. But let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, Earl the Truth Spence Jr. recently gave an interview and he revealed his plans that he wants to make happen after the Terence Bud Crawford fight. I want to give my deuce on that and break it down for whoever listening.
I would say Gamble, because I can't think of anybody else.
Alright, y'all. So Errol Spence recently said that he plans to make the jump up to either 154, 160, wherever he needs to go to face off with the best competition after he finishes with Terence Crawford. Now, the Terence Crawford fight, I don't want Errol Spence to overlook that fight because it's a huge fight. If he loses, it's going to be some serious ramifications for Errol Spence. And I don't want him to be unfocused for that fight. But he definitely said that in the near future, hopefully, he will either be taking on Canelo Alvarez or Jermell Charlo.
He's a groupie. I just feel like ever since I moved, and they was cool, you know what I mean? I'm still cool with Jermell. Jermell's still cool people, but Jermell, like, dude just, like, weird. He always angry. He always yelling. He always, you know, doing some off-the-wall psycho type.
In the past, a lot of people have said that there's no way he'll fight Charlo. He just won't happen. They're stablemates. They're friends. He's not going to fight Charlo. Well, in an interview recently, and I'll put what he had to say down in the description box as well, but recently he said that it has to be discussed between him and Charlo. But he is willing to fight Charlo if Charlo's willing to fight him, and as long as Charlo has all the titles when he fights him.
Fucking liar! You fucking manipulator! You goddamn wish you would have played your cards right with me! Fucking dumbass! I hope that you choke on a piece of concrete and literally go to hell.
He said he's willing to make it happen. So, for anybody thinking or saying that Errol Spence won't fight Charlo because they're stablemates, according to Errol Spence and his own words, he's willing to make the fight with anybody and Charlo as long as Charlo still holds the titles.
As soon as I called out Spence and my name was being involved in Spence, he acted like that was his fiance, as if Errol couldn't speak for herself. He was, oh, Errol Spence to do this, Errol Spence to do that, and you too little, and Lions, and it's Texas, and this and that.
He said he wishes Charlo nothing but the best of luck in his upcoming fight versus Canelo, but he hopes that Charlo wins.
Boy, you from Lafayette, Louisiana, while you screaming Texas. Me and Errol handle this, and you just sit in the sideline, because we all know he be beating you up in sparring.
And he will definitely take on Charlo.
It's like I said to the judge, no contest.
Now, he says he feels the same way about Canelo. Whoever wins the fight, he's willing to take them on. And if it's Canelo and he has all the titles, then he would most definitely go after Canelo next. Now, if that's possible, you know, I would love to see it happen. But here's the thing. That might not be possible for another year. This might not all go down until next summer.
All you do is deal with little mics and shit like that. You ain't shit.
Because of the Terence Crawford situation. So he has the Terence Crawford fight coming up here in about a week and a half. And if he wins, there's an automatic rematch clause if Terence Crawford accepts it within the 30 days that is allotted for him to accept the rematch. He has to do it within 30 days. Now, they didn't say that the fight had to be reset within 30 days, meaning that, okay, so let's say he waits all the way up until August the 27th or 28th and decides, yeah, I want the rematch. that doesn't mean that the rematch is going to happen, next month, 2 months from then, 3 months from then. It might be 5 or 6 months down the line before we actually see the rematch.
One day you're going to find out your father is not your father.
Any Charlo, any Canelo fight that actually happens might not actually happen until later on next summer, after the actual Terence Crawford rematch takes place. So it's all going to depend on when the rematch takes place. Now, if he loses to Terence Crawford in the first fight, it's going to stir up a whole can of worms, and a whole lot of things are going to happen in reaction to him losing the titles, and most likely he'll take the rematch and still be stuck at 147 for the rematch for another at least 6 months, possibly. Could possibly take up to 6 months for them to get the Terence Crawford rematch, everything hashed out. Because look at it like this. You saw how long the first fight took. Now you know that in the rematch, if Errol Spence loses, Terence Crawford is going to throw all type of demands out there. There's going to be all type of things Errol Spence has to agree to that are in Terence Crawford's benefit just to make the fight. Now, even though the rematch has already been, determined, there's still going to have to be negotiations for certain things in the second fight.
Super bad. You, sir, are an enterprising impresario. You are royalty Stubbs, the Prince of Tidy.
Unless they've already hashed that out, which I doubt, because I doubt that Terence Crawford would have signed off on something to where he's not going to get a specific amount in the rematch, or, he's not going to get the bigger half in the rematch, or he's not going to be the A side in the rematch. So there are going to be terms that have to be agreed upon for the rematch to actually happen. So I would say at the least it could take up to 6 months for that to happen. So any Charlo fight, any Canelo fight, you can expect that not to happen for maybe at least 6 months after the original fight. And what does that mean for a Charlo fight? What does that mean for a Canelo fight?
I might act tough, but I got a lot of feelings, and you hurt damn near every one of them.
Well, it basically means that they can't happen until after the rematch. So any thought of Errol Spence fighting either one of those guys is just well wishes at the moment. And I don't know, once again, if they have to go directly into the rematch, or whoever the winner is, do they get to decide whether they can have one fight in between the rematch? Because I'm pretty sure the titles have to be on the line, and there's a possibility of someone taking a loss with the titles if they try to fight in between the rematch. So I would doubt that if Terence Crawford wins the fight, he gets to run out and fight whoever he wants to, unless it's in another weight class. And I would be surprised, the same thing for Errol Spence, if he went out and tried to fight somebody else in between the rematch, unless it's in a different weight class.
Pull your skirt down, B. Streets is missing you, yo.
Even if they did decide to do a fight outside of the 147 weight class and then come back, a year from now, 6 months from now, and have the rematch, once again, they're going to have to wait. It's going to be a long wait before we ever see Errol Spence and Charlo, or Errol Spence and Canelo get it on. It's not just going to be a next fight up. These are near future plans if he wins, but definitely not going to be the next fight up.
Soldier rag on my eye, soldier fit on my frame, I scream, whoa. I come to make it a mega level sing. If I died in battle, tell my folks that I was no joke when I blasted. Wrap me up in camouflage and put the tank on my cat. That brother was hip hop, that brother was gangster. That brother was tall, that brother was slim, brother was shell shot. I hung with the killer, I hung with the soldier. I hung with some G's, I hung with some blood. I hung with some brothers who probably wanted to murder me, but look, I crossed my heart and I pulled the trigger. Lord, if I died to see the eyes of the killer, let me haunt that. Papa shot me through the rubber. He knew I would be a young bad mother.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. Hit the like button if I'm mad. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. That Facebook, that Instagram, that YouTube, that Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. If you want to collab or feature a product or your channel on my channel, hit my Gmail because it is a flock of cards at gmail.com. And we are
I need a chick that's down the ride. I had one that claimed CK like Calvin Klein, so she hate when I wear blue. She like keys, I ain't trying to share you, but I'm prepared to. I had a West End chick, she the opposite. See me in my Louisville jersey, get the knocking it. She stay around to see if fatter player pockets get. Yeah, they stick around even though I get around. The fact I'm a player hard to get around. Had a rich girl chillin' out in Middletown. Had a Iroquois chick, had to sit her down, cause she kept going to the club getting wild. Had a Newburgh girl, but she wasn't live. But she had a ride and she let her play a drive. Had a Valley girl, had to put her on the side. Told her we can settle down when I'm 35.
Bitches in every hood.
I keep it tight, you know I'll be right back.
I got bitches in every hood.
I keep it real, I ain't trying to make.
I wish that they understood.
Just chill, maybe get it on.
I got bitches in every hood.
This new was keys, I had a girl out in Prospect. She always tell me money ain't an object. I left alone for my girl in the projects. She always tell me keys you can cop it. You can't knock it, cause she beautiful. Her black Lucy Lou, get her nails done, put my name on the cuticles. See us out and about on the usual. Might take her to the mall and the movies too. But after that, don't try me. I got a sugar mama chillin' out in Shavely. And if I act wisely, she provide me. So it evens out. Gotta speak about my Indiana girls, can't leave them out. Out in J City, looking way pretty. Through thick and thin, I hope they stay with me, but they probably won't, cause I got them other things with me.
Bitches in every hood.
I keep it tight, you know I'll be right back.
I got bitches in every hood.
I keep it real, I ain't trying to make.
I wish that they understood.
Just chill, maybe get it on.
I got bitches in every hood.
This new was keys, that's the Lord.
Bitches in